Polo Road, Bimbo Street. And we grew up on 25th, right off of Cherry Street. We had some times in a couple of shelters right off of Cherry Street. I guess one of the first ESR sites. Now that I'm grown, I know about it. And we also grew up right there in East Winston, right on North Jackson, right off of 1st Street. Then of course, you know, we grew up. We left the house early, so we grew up in Cleveland, the Gardens. Yeah, me and you. Lawrence and Michael. That was our path. We never really swore allegiance in no neighborhood, because we always was moving. So we done stayed in Old Town, done stayed in different places.
So how would you consider these neighborhoods? Are they in the hood, or are they?
I always thought our story was kind of different, because we done stayed in the gutter. You know, our mama, she ain't never really subscribed to no staying in housing projects. She was and still is very proud. So she ain't want no food stamps. She ain't want to stay in the projects, even though people was living real good in the projects. You know, really, I was kind of jealous of people in the projects, because they had the nice breakfast nooks and the clean tile floors and the high ceilings. You know, I felt like they was doing good, but sometimes we had to huddle around a kerosene heater, or try to get more oil for the oil tank. But the lights go out, the water go out.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like it's all perception.
Yeah, it's all perception. You know, a lot of times you think you're getting something free. Sick as it sounds, like a lot of times our people, we take more care sometime of the free stuff for a while than we do with the stuff we paying for. You know what I mean?
Right. These neighborhoods. And out of those neighborhoods, what would you consider the main neighborhoods that raised you?
Main neighborhoods that raised me, I had to say, I always put a lot of emphasis on Jackson, right on off of East 1st Street.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of like jumped off the porch right there. We used to dunk right there off the porch.
What age bracket was that?
That was like 15.
When you first got there, you were 15?
Yeah, I think I was 15 when we first got there. I was a freshman, so I might have been 14. Yeah, I was 14, because I graduated 17. 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, 14.
Okay. So you graduated.
Yep.
How would you consider your school experience? Starting off, how would you consider your elementary school experience?
It was very storied. All the way up to probably the 3rd grade, I was getting along pretty good. You know, they had me at the top of the class. You know, I was testing out pretty high. Then once we got to the EOGs, they said, "Okay, you way up there. You at the top of the class. So we're gonna have to send you to AG classes." So by the time I got in the 4th grade, no, 3rd grade. By the time I got in the 3rd grade.
What's AG?
AG, academically gifted.
Okay.
That's off that IQ test. So once I got to that, I started seeing a lot of white supremacy. Before that, I don't really remember seeing no white supremacy in our schooling or growing up like that. I know it's around, but once I got to 3rd grade, I started hearing it then. Like, when I raised my hand, they're like, "Oh, put your hand down." You know what I mean? You too excited to answer the question. You little monkey. Like, just talking real flagrant. And my mama had to go up there and straighten them.
Who calling you monkey? The students?
Nah, the teacher. The teacher.
Wow.
Ms.Andronica, she called me a monkey. I remember that. Like, calm down, you little monkey. Like, go stand in the corner. She used to make me stand in the corner with the books like this, one on my head, one in my hands. Then we go to
what years was this?
It's third grade.
Yeah, what year was it on Earth? Like 19 what?
That should have been like 1982.
Racism was strong in 1982.
Hell yeah. We used to call it prejudice. We ain't know nothing about racism. We call it prejudice.
Right.
Yeah, we say they real prejudiced. And they was like people was prejudiced back then. Of course, with racism, real nasty. And her name was Andronica, so she probably was a straight Nazi. And yeah, she was real nasty. She used to give me cold pricklies, like give all the white kids the warm fuzzies. I ain't did nothing different than them. I get the cold prickly. Even when they said Red Rover, like they never called me right over. Like, you know what I mean? It was definitely very racist. You know, I got tired of that, so I was like, I started showing out in class. Remember, I cut my eyebrows off. Started acting like a monkey for real. You know, I started pouring milk on my head every day. Like, I just like really started just doing crazy stuff in the class. And it was like, well, let's send them back to regular school. So I went to 4th grade, I went to Speece. That was pretty fun. By then, I started liking the girls, so okay, I can deal with this.
So what school were you going to where they were treating you, where they were being prejudiced or racist?
Whitaker Park.
Whitaker Park.
Yep, at rich school. It was like a college.
Mm.
Here, a lot of white kids. I think it was like 2 black kids in the AG class.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you consciously doing that to try to go back to Speece?
Yeah, I ain't like it. I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just witnessed the same thing happen to Fatima, my daughter.
Right.
So I like, okay, so maybe I wasn't tripping. This really happened.
Right.
Like, she like, nah, this ain't it. They try to put her right out there, same little white school. And nah. She rebelled the same way I rebelled.
I think a lot of people slipping on the North Carolina experience. Like, a lot of people don't understand our experience because we deal with a lot of racism here in North Carolina. I think more than most, for real.
For real.
What was your dream back then? What did you want to be?
I had a lot of dreams. I wanted to be an archaeologist. Back when Raiders of the Lost Ark, I used to want to be an archaeologist back then.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be an astronaut.
Right.
What else I wanted to be? I wanted to be a scientist at one time, just like a laboratory scientist. Then I used to dream about being I think I wanted to be a soccer player at one time. Like when I was young.
You ever play soccer?
Yeah. I used to want to be like Pele. That was my favorite athlete.
Yeah.
The black soccer player from Brazil.
Right. Did the flips and all that.
Right. Yeah. That was when I first started liking sports.
How were you in sports?
Oh, I have to admit, like, when I played soccer, I was pretty awesome. Like, I was the star. You know, the white kids, they outlasted me because they kept playing soccer. You know, you had to pay a lot of money. But when I played soccer, like, it was showtime. I used to get it in on the soccer field. In the grass.
In the 80s, it was mostly in North Carolina, where we from, it was mostly white people playing soccer. So did you encounter any racism playing soccer?
Nah, they used me. Because we had Dan from the Polo Park.
Right.
So he was like a cool white guy.
Yeah. And
I forgot the black guy name, Ben. I forgot his name.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and
yeah,
Ben.
Right.
Yeah, so they was so cool. Like, you couldn't have better people in the recreation center. Like, I ain't feel no racism.
No doubt.
And he used to give me put me in a lot of opportunities to shine on that soccer field.
Yeah.
So it was love. If I go back, like I'd have been more serious about it. You know what I mean? But
You remember any people you played soccer with?
one of them, he ended up being pretty good. What's his name? Josh. I think his name was Josh Bennett.
Right.
And then, of course, the Armour Trouts. They was good at soccer.
You played any other sports?
Yeah, I played basketball. I played basketball. I was decent at basketball too. I think I was a little better at soccer, but I was pretty decent at basketball. Very competitive. Hit a couple of game winners. You know what I mean? My first season, I hit a couple of game winners. And I probably could have been pretty nice at basketball, but I fell victim to lack of playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else kept playing organized ball, and I just played blacktop ball. And you know how that go. You just keep developing as a ball player.
So where do you feel like you developed your skills at in basketball?
Shoot, just shooting around.
Shooting around.
Shooting around in the yard. Remember, we played basketball at Creeker Road. Did a lot of practicing, a lot of layups, a lot of bank shots. You know what I'm
I
saying?
remember you used to go to the rec. Nobody else played the grown men.
Yeah, played the rec. Used to go to Polo Park. You know, we'd stay on 25th. We used to play right at Kimberly at the school.
Right. You did.
Right. Go right to the rec. You know what I'm saying? Be down at the rec playing. So it was a lot of blacktop. I played more outside because now that I look back, now that you're bringing it up,
Yeah.
I was more rugged. You know what I'm saying? I played very hard, so I didn't even want to play inside back growing up. I wanted to play on the blacktop with the grown men, with the drunks.
Right.
You know, sometimes I end up getting in a fight. You know what I'm saying? I would never back down. I was mean, and I play hard. You know,
Right.
so that's why I learned right on the blacktop.
And that probably affected your game. It made you have that intense type of Kevin Garnett type of game just from starting off growing up playing with them type of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Then football. You know, I used to love football too. You know, I ain't really get a lot of rec with the organized football, but in the streets, I remember I used to burn them up. I was just thinking about like it was like me and Tim Alexander. We was always rivals growing up. Who was the best running back?
Mm-hmm.
And I was real confident. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wanted to make sure everybody knew on 25th Street I'm the best running back. You know what I'm saying? Hand me the ball, I'm gonna score. You know, only thing him and a couple of more running backs probably had on me, Jomar Behringer. You know, they used to get a lot more rec. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they used to get a lot more rec. But there was some nasty brothers back then too. Like to me, Trelane was like raw like that.
Right.
You know, he right there with us. So, you know, very fast, run like a horse.
Yeah.
We played a lot of sandlot football right behind Michael Wilson house. I just heard his name the other day. Stayed right on our street 25th in that long backyard.
Right. Who would you say was the best running back in those days?
But in our age group,
Yeah.
the best running back, I had to give it to just based on speed. I had to give it to up close to us. I would give it to like Derek Speaks.
Derek Speaks.
Yeah, that breaking speed. Like he might shut him down 2 or 3 times in a row. When he get loose, he gonna break.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's Vikings.
The Vikings.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
In our age group.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a lot of people can say.
Who would you say was your main rivals in basketball?
Damn, I can't remember their names. Well, my first main rival was Brian Scott. You know, I thought I was Magic Johnson. He thought he was Larry Bird. You know, he passed away now, but he was he was a Division I college player. Ended up being a Division I college player.
Mm.
Yeah, me and Brian Scott used to battle hard in Polo Park. And it was another dude who was a raw point guard I always hear his name. It ain't Chris Q-Through. It's Damien. What's his name? I be forgetting people's name.
Yeah.
But he was an ill point guard. Uh, Hammerhead Mike, he was a point guard from Boston.
Right.
Big Daddy and Little Daddy were nasty point guards from the Gardens in our age group. It's about a lot of people on basketball. Then, like on First Street, we battled Southgate and Cottney Place.
So did you play in school?
No, I ain't playing school. I tried out one time in school, and I ain't make the team because it was all favoritism. I was on, I overdo it. Yeah, favoritism to the little cliques. Like they had cliques at Glenn High School.
Yeah.
So if you ain't in the clique and telling jokes and carrying each other jock straps and you just ain't you don't stand a chance in case you really stand out.
Yeah.
Like you dunking. Like I wasn't no dunking type person. I had all my fundamentals. I played hard. I was well coached. I ain't never complained. Like that's the type of player I would want on my team.
Yeah.
But they want the ones to be whining, and I guess maybe they seen something in their game that was over mine. But I always felt like I could beat them. In gym class, I used to outplay them. But structured basketball, I ain't make the basketball team the first time. He probably wanted me to kiss his ass, pardon my language, and try out again. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't feel like I'm not that type of person. I know I could have really tried and made the basketball team my sophomore year, but I ran immediately to the streets because I was like, if I ain't had no money, I couldn't dress, I couldn't buy no shoes, wasn't no need of dang staying at the school trying out for basketball.
So what kind of stuff was you doing in the streets? When you jumped off the porch, what was your first thing that you said I'm doing that you felt like was street stuff, street moves?
Selling crack.
Crack?
Yep, selling crack. I ain't breaking houses, I ain't steal.
Yeah.
Not nothing major.
So how did you get your first crack? How did you start selling crack?
Me and Jiggy, Steve Tompkins, we watched the movie, New Jack City, and we watched it right at his house. And after we saw the movie, we was hyped. So we took some parsley. Everybody sell crack back then, so a lot of bags would be out there. So we took them little bags off the ground up at the Chicken and Honey and stuffed it with parsley. And put a little bit of weed seeds in it. And went up there, everybody was standing out there. We sold us about 3-4 bags. And got us $25. Walked to Cleveland. Stood in line with everybody else. Seen fraud.
What's Cleveland?
Cleveland Projects. That's right off of Cleveland Avenue, northeast side of Winston-Salem. And we walked to Cleveland Projects and bought a break and walked back. Chicken and Honey, sold it. Yep.
Who was from?
Fraud from Cleveland. He's probably a couple of years older than us. But to us, he was like an OG. Somebody handled a lot of weight back in the day. Back then, the game was $25 rocks. It wasn't even all this weight. You just sell packs. So packs, $1,000 G packs. You know what I'm saying? Slugs. Rocks you can buy for $25 and break down to about four 20s or 425s, make 100. Easy flips.
So you brought a break, you and your homeboy, and then what y'all do?
We went up to Chicken and Honey and sold it.
What's Chicken and Honey?
A restaurant right there on the east side on 5th Street. Okay. Yep, right off of MLK.
So after that, y'all was on your way?
Yeah, we was on our way, man. Chicken and Honey, that was a little hangout spot. All the potheads and crackheads be walking through. So we just started up there. And By the time we got up to like $100, $200, we started walking over there to off of MLK to the Great American. We started standing up there at the Great American.
That's a Great American.
That's a you know, I think there's a lot of Great Americans in America. Like it's just like our Great American had like video games, pool tables, and you know beer, liquor. Well, not liquor, beer, wine, bags of chips, now laters, candy. You know, Great America. You know, it's a Great American store, and everybody stand out in the front in East Winston.
Later on, you got into a big fight at the Great American.
Yeah, because you know, while I was selling drugs, I was still kind of green because. You know, I used to be the same thing I am now. I thought everybody was my friend. So I'm up there caking. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody even really know me like that. And people my age, like one of the dudes I grew up with, you know, I guess he felt like he had hands of stone, but I thought, you know, I had him kind of calm because I was getting money. I was kind of green, like I said. But me and Jiggy, all us, we went to the football game and we was drinking, getting drunk. And he steady laughing. I could keep seeing his face. He like, ah, ha, ha. Like, you know, now everything getting blurry and I'm getting drunk. And when I used to get drunk, I used to be wild and just do stupid shit and play myself out of pocket. And I don't even remember what started it, but we got back to the Great American for the football game. And next thing I know, I'm getting stolen on. And nigga hit me hard as hell, so I was damn dazed. And I remember everybody was trying to hold me, but while they was holding me, shoot, you never know. They probably the ops back then. He caught me again and caught me again. So I was like, I was asleep. Like, it damn near knocked me out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody broke it up. And my mama and them, they had pulled into the gas station across the street. My mama and daddy her husband. And
remember, I was in the back seat, yeah.
Oh, damn. See, I told you I was asleep.
Yeah. They picked me up from my football game.
From the football game, okay. Right. So I was damn, you know, I was damaged out there. And we went down there, and I remember Daddy hopped out and damn wanted to fight everybody. But, yeah, I still used to go down there. I sit right on the side of Great American and then pump rocks. And,
Did you get into a lot of fights, altercations?
Growing up?
During that time? Like when you first started selling crack?
I used to get, even before I was selling crack, I was getting in fights almost at least once every month. I was getting into a fist fight. I got into a lot of fights growing up. When I look back, like I got into a lot of little scraps. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And even when I sold crack, I kept getting in fights. But I got in less fights when I was selling crack. I started pulling back. You know what I mean? Then I started thinking, you know, okay, this would be more hot. So I ain't get as many fights. But we used to wild out still.
I mean, were you a successful crack dealer?
To be honest, I sold crack for a number of years. If I'd have, you know, I even have something in my head that I have a switch I can turn on or off. Like even when I sit down in a game of chess, like if I sit down and really determined to crush somebody on the chessboard, I can win a lot of times. But if I don't have that switch in my head that I click, I just sit there and push the pieces and I might win sometimes. So it was like that with crack too. Like I can get money probably without trying, because I managed to build a strong clientele back when niggas was trying to figure out how to build clientele. My clientele was crazy. So I could make money like easy. When I really applied myself, if I really applied it, I could have been more successful selling crack, but I think my mama kept staying in my head like, I pray you don't never be successful selling crack. And that always kind of was in the back of my head like, fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of way. You know what I mean? And yeah, I ain't never gained my supreme ambition for selling crack. I think I could have been BMF, to be honest with you.